This episode of the Just John podcast is brought to you by Thanksgiving Leftovers. What up, homies? Welcome to the show, coming to you from the Just John studio here in the heart of mid-Missouri. This is the Just John podcast, a weekly show where I talk about whatever the hell I want, and I'm your host, John Medina. Today on the show, I'm going to be talking about the sad state of my lawn. Net neutrality is more important than Comcast wants you to believe. Google Star Wars, Google Thanksgiving, shopping is not sacred, space poop, and an app review. So a couple weeks ago, I told you that they were replacing the water mains on my street, and they decided to shit on my lawn yesterday. I come home from work, and there is a huge hole where my manhole cover thing is in my yard, and they said they were gonna fix it, but they didn't fix it. They filled the hole back up, but they tore up my lawn with their freaking little bulldozers and crap. I'm gonna send a picture to the city and be like, is this what fixing a lawn means? I don't know. It just really irritates me that, I know it's necessary and it's going to be for the better and new water pipes and whatever, but why do you have to wreck my lawn? And when I was younger, my dad really cared about his yard, and I was like, oh, whatever, it's just a lawn, who cares? But now I care about my lawn. Guess I'm turning into my father. In other news, Comcast is saying that it will zero rate its own personal TV streaming service, which is called Stream TV. How original, Comcast. Anyway, basically what this is saying is that it won't count against their bandwidth limits, which I'm trying to figure out why they even have bandwidth limits. What? I've had DSL/cable internet for a long time. 5-6 years since I've been out on my own, and I've never ever heard of a cap, had a cap, or reached a cap, and I've used a lot of data. I don't have cable, so everything I watch is on TV. I go to school online. Literally everything I do is online, but I've never hit a cap. Comcast is just really trying to gouge the customers, what it is. But anyway, so they're saying, and I quote, Stream TV is a cable streaming service delivered over Comcast cable system, not over the internet, and it won't impact your data usage. But we all know that's a crock of horse shite, okay? They're basically just saying, we've been having these bandwidth limits for you for all these years so that we could have an excuse to charge you extra, but when it really comes down to it, it doesn't affect speeds, and so when it's our own service, we're not going to charge you for it. But they're calling it a cable service so they can sidestep the FCC, because the FCC says that you cannot zero rate your own services, but they wanted to do it anyway, so they just said it wasn't over the internet, that it was a cable service, which if you have to use the internet to watch it, but it's still classified as a cable service, but they're the company providing both the cable and the internet service, I kind of feel like either way, they're still zero rating their own services, and that should be against the rules. But it just goes to show you that it's another step back for net neutrality, really, is what it is. So if you're not aware, net neutrality boiled really, really far down, because I do not have the time or all of the complete knowledge to break it down for you completely. But essentially the way that this is violating net neutrality is that the ISPs provide you an internet service. Apart from that, they shouldn't have any say in it. You should just be able to use whatever service you want on the internet. So if you want to use Netflix, you should be able to. Well, this is ruining that capability by Comcast saying, yeah, you can watch Netflix, but after you watch so much Netflix, we're going to cut your internet off, or we're going to cut your speeds down, or we're going to charge you extra. But if you watch our service, you can watch whatever you want. That limits the freedom of the customer. It's almost the same thing that T-Mobile is doing when they're zero rating these music services and Netflix and stuff. It's great, and I champion it in terms of you're not restricted by data caps on those things, but If somebody comes out with a new music service or TV service and T-Mobile doesn't allow them into that, it's going to hinder their ability to compete. We're supposed to be a free market, and that is not free. But apart from that, I mean, essentially we just need to see data caps go away. It's a big load of crock. It does not actually affect anybody. It's not like the physical call system when you make a call and everything gets summed up. Sure, it may slow down your speeds a tiny bit, but nobody's going to be on it that much, that hard, that long. Not everybody's going to do that. I mean, like, say me, I'll get on and I'll surf Twitter or I'll look at Facebook, but I don't really watch a whole lot of TV on my phone because I have internet at home for that. Now, I understand that if they had unlimited data on phones, some people would get rid of their home internet and use their phone for everything, but they could do something with the tethering, like you have to pay so much a month for tethering, and they could use that to bolster the network versus letting you tether for free. All I'm saying is that you as an ISP or even a mobile phone internet provider, you're providing a service. That service is internet. Once you get to the internet, you should have no say in what they are allowed and are not allowed to see, with the exception of things that are illegal. You certainly an ISP could block, websites that encourage sex trafficking or whatever. You definitely go ahead and block that. But apart from that, you should have no say in saying you can watch this or you can go to this website over this website because, oh, they're my friend and I want you to help them out. But if the little guy that's supposed to try to compete because this is America comes in, we're going to shut him out, force him out. It's just, it's the consumer loses when that starts to happen. You can now go to google.com/Star Wars, and what's going to happen is you see this page with Daisy Ridley with Rey on it and Kylo Ren, I think, on the other side, and it says choose your side, and you can either pick the light side or the dark side, and depending on what side you pick is how it will customize your different apps. So it will customize every single Gmail app, YouTube, Google Maps, your Gmail account itself. If you pick the Jedi or the light side, you will get a picture of Jakku as the background of your Gmail. You'll be an X-Wing fighter in Google Maps. And then on YouTube, when you go to watch a video, the time slider of the video and the volume slider are lightsabers. It's the same for if you choose the dark side, but instead of an X-Wing on the map, you're a little TIE fighter, and the picture on your Gmail account's different. But I thought it was really cool. I mean, I guess it's still promoting the movie in a way, but I think it's just something fun that Google and Disney, Star Wars decided to get together and do. And I was super excited, and I've got all of my different Gmail accounts tied to it and customized. So it's pretty sweet. Take a look at it. You can go to google.com/Star Wars to play around with that. In honor of Thanksgiving, I've compiled a list of the top dish that's Googled in a few of the different states. So I went ahead and started with my own state, of course, because who wouldn't? The most Googled dish in Missouri is called green rice casserole. I've never even heard of that dish. I've lived in Missouri my entire life, and I have never heard of green rice casserole. I guess I could have eaten it at some point in time and just not known what it was, but I feel like if I saw something that was green rice, I'd at least ask what it was because green rice is not something common. A couple other ones that I thought were funny is in Colorado, the most searched for dish is frog eye salad. Once again, I've never heard of that. I have no idea what it is. All I could guess would be that maybe it has the green olives in it because, they have the little red pepper in the middle. And I guess you could almost say that looks like a frog eye maybe. Or heck, I don't know. Maybe it actually has frog eyes in it. That'd be kind of weird though. Utah is funeral potatoes. I'm pretty sure that funeral potatoes are scallop potatoes. They're just called something different there. But, I didn't really Google it and didn't look into it. I just picked it because I don't know why they're called funeral potatoes. Like, maybe it's a dish that a lot of people take to like wakes after a funeral. I don't know. If any of you listeners live in Utah and know the reasoning behind the name of funeral potatoes, let me know. In Washington, it is smoked salmon dip. Interesting. Sounds kind of good. I'd actually try it. I bet you it's healthy, kind of, but it's smoked, so it's going to give you cancer, according to the World Health Organization, because it's treated meat. But, whatever, I'd still try it. I think it would be great with some wheat thins. That's right, I said wheat thins. Get over it. In North Dakota, cookie salad is the most Googled dish, and I gave that one more number for Missouri, too. Maybe we can beat out green rice casserole, because cookie salad sounds freaking amazing, and I'm definitely gonna have to try to make that one of these days. Maryland, this was weird. The top one in Maryland was sauerkraut. Like, you put that with like a bratwurst or like, a hot dog or something, but that's definitely not, that's just not Thanksgiving. I guess whatever, it's your holiday, you can do what you want, but it doesn't seem like a holiday dish to me. Oh yeah, we got the cranberry, we got the turkey, let's bust out the sauerkraut. South Dakota and Nebraska had the same, and this was another one that I thought sounded delicious. It's called Snicker salad. And it's basically just a dessert of a bunch of junk, and it's probably not healthy, but it's going in my mouth sometime soon, because I'm going to figure out how to make that too. The last one that I chose to do was California. I'm the best at pronouncing words, so here we go. It's persimmon bread. What's persimmon? Is persimmon like some kind of food? It looks like dirt, like when you're a kid and you get your mom's little pie pan or whatever, and you go outside and you put a bunch of water and mud in it, and then you let it sit for like a day. That's what it looks like. It does not look good at all. Actually, it almost kind of looks like maybe a fluffy brownie or something, but I don't know. I just don't feel like it would taste very good, and I'm not even sure what persimmons are. This just in. Persimmon is a fruit. It says, this recipe right here says, reminiscent of apricots and honey, persimmons make a lovely bread when gently spiced with cinnamon. I don't know. That doesn't sound very good. Walmart is now trying to destroy Cyber Monday. So Walmart's already destroyed Thanksgiving, or Black Friday, by starting the sales for Black Friday at 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving night. But they can't stop there. They decided to destroy Cyber Monday too. They're going to start Cyber Monday sales at 8 p.m. on Sunday. Their reasoning behind it, I guess it's kind of legit, because it's mainly the reason why I don't do a lot of shopping on Cyber Monday, because I'm at work all day. And so the reason is that almost everyone now has internet access at home and doesn't need to use work internet to buy stuff. If you work somewhere where you're allowed to order stuff online while you're at work, shout out, because I can't do that. So I don't even know where they thought a bunch of people were doing that. But whatever. So they're going to start at 8 p.m. on Sunday. Now, I don't know if this is going to become a trend or that Amazon's going to answer it in any way, considering that Amazon's had pretty much Black Friday deals since the month of November even started. But we may see an answer from Amazon, Best Buy. You can be sure that Best Buy would price match anything that Walmart had on their website in their store if they have the same version of it. So I guess that'd work if you wanted to do that. But good luck if they have it in stock, because chances are they sold out on Black Friday and didn't get a shipment in before. The companies are also upset because Black Friday sales seem to be dropping, like year over year. This could be attributed to two things. I think that one of the things is a lot of people are turned off by the fact that the sales start at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving. They don't have time, or they have other obligations and they're not able to go shopping at that time. And so they feel like if they try to go early Friday morning or whatever, that there's not going to be anything left. So they just don't go and don't want to deal with it. The other thing is that a lot of it's just moving to online. People don't want to go fight through the stores. They don't want to leave the comfort of their home. So you can get into a food coma from turkey and pumpkin pie, and then you can sit in your pajamas on the couch and order everything you want from the internet and then not even have to go out. Who wouldn't want to do that, right? I mean, there's something to be said about, holding or touching whatever you're going to buy, actually being able to investigate it, look at it. And there's something completely else to say about standing in the middle of Walmart next to a pallet full of saran wrap stuff for 3 hours with your hand touching one to make sure you can try to get it before everybody else around you claws at it like animals. I guess if that's your favorite pastime, then you're all for it, right? Scientists, they're always trying to make human progress, right? Well, right now, scientists are trying to figure out how to handle the shitty situation in space. And by shitty situation, I mean dealing with space poop. So it's basically been said that before we go to Mars, we have to figure out how to deal with astronaut waste. So the problem is that, one, it's heavy. So carrying it around in space isn't a big deal because there's no gravity, but landing or taking back off, things like that can cause issues. If you eject it, if you're moving in space, it's going to follow you, and then it can mess up the instruments. It can fall back on the spaceship, or it's going to give you some issues when you're landing wherever your destination is. The other option is to burn it, which is kind of difficult because burning it means you need oxygen and fuel, and they don't want to use the fuel for the ship because they're going to need it. They don't want to add extra fuel because the weight, and it can cost like $1,000 per pound to send something into space, and they're going to waste oxygen by burning it because the fire is going to consume the oxygen. So they're trying to figure out how to recycle the poop. Feces has a lot of water in it, and once they get out all the water and the other nutrients that they can get, they can compact it into a really, really small brick, basically, and it can be used to shield against certain types of radiation. So they're trying to get the funding from NASA to figure out all of this stuff before they go to Mars, but NASA doesn't have a lot of funding right now, so they're struggling trying to figure out how to budget working on space toilets and figuring out how to recycle your poop. All right, now it's time for an app review. So the app that I'm going to review this week is a game called Just Get 10 Seasons. There's an original game called Just Get 10, and then this is like the seasonal one, so it's got like different designs or whatever, what have you. And essentially what it is you got a 5x5 block, and you start out with the numbers 1, 2, 3, and I think there's 1 4 block. And so what you do is you tap on all. It has to be more than 1. So if there's 2 1s that are right next to each other, you tap on one of them, and once you combine them, they turn into a 2. And then if there's more than 2 2s together, you combine them, and it turns into a 3, 2 3s, and so on. The object of the game is to get up to a block that is 10. I lost a lot of time playing this game because it's like the app that I talked about last week, where like you start playing, you're like, I'm gonna play this for 5 minutes, and then 20 minutes later you're like, oh man, I'm still playing this stupid game. But it is a lot of fun. It's kind of a brain teaser, and there's different modes on this one, so you can do like casual, which is just regular game, and then once you get so far in casual, you can unlock different levels. So there's one that's called like timed or speed or something like that, and you only have 2 seconds to decide your move between, you have 2 seconds to combine 2 squares, and then you have another 2 seconds, and it never ends. So you feel really rushed, and you got to do it. There's a couple other play modes that I haven't unlocked yet because I haven't got far enough along in the game, but it's a pretty fun game. It's a nice time waster. So you're sitting at home waiting for grandma's pie to finish, you can play this game and waste some time. It doesn't require any data, so that's nice, especially if grandma doesn't have Wi-Fi, which can happen. Surprise, surprise. So it's a really fun game. Download it, check it out. If you enjoyed the show, please show me some love by liking, thumbs up, subscribe, sharing, rating, reviewing, retweeting, or whatever it is that's used to symbolize the love of the show on the platform you're using to view it. You can follow me on Twitter at JohnnyM_Revo. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/JustJohnPodcast. You can also find the show at justjohnpodcast.wordpress.com. You can listen to the show at soundcloud.com/JustJohn-podcast, youtube.com/JFMedina2010. And you can also search for the Just John Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and some other shit. You can email the show at justjohnpodcast@gmail.com. And remember, without you, I'm just some dude talking to himself on the internet. Until next time, peace out, fam.